Today is September 8th, and it is currently 10:36 p.m. I'm in my own driveway right now. I didn't pull up to the usual spot that I pull up to, which is like this parking lot right next to a nature preserve. I kind of didn't really uh, see the need to go out. I mean, it's literally like less than a 10-minute drive. It's probably 5 minutes to get to there. But I figured, you know what? Let me not really drive out that far. I kind of want to stay like home, but I still want to record this video. So let me just record it in my car, in my own driveway. Why not? So you can probably see, like next to me, I have the fence around my backyard, and maybe you could see like a little bit of the lights from my backyard too. I don't really know. I hope that this isn't revealing like exactly where I'm at or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Point is, I had a few different things kind of going on through this past weekend. This past week. This week? No. Last week. I think that still means the same thing. I don't know. Last weekend and this weekend, today's Monday, I had a few different things going on. I'm going to be very open about semen retention, and I'm going to be very open about early stages of talking to someone and how to not screw that over, okay? At least just from my own personal understanding, and I'm going to preface this by just saying, a lot of what we experience in terms of problems aren't really problems, but rather they're things that we sort of speculate or create. We create our own problems sometimes, all right? Not every time. Some problems really do arise by outside factors, but more often than not, at least for myself, I can't speak for everybody, right? But more often than not, sometimes I realize the problems or the things that I stress out about are really things that my mind, I'm not saying that we create them, but in a way, when people talk about manifesting, right? When people talk about, we can manifest what we desire. We manifest what we want, right? In a way that I can sort of see that, right? Because for me, it's kind of like, all right, if I want to manifest me flying, then why can't I just fucking lift off and fly, Like, it's not like that, right? However, the way that I sort of see my manifestations in terms of what I'm manifesting, right? If I am really deep into, let's say, for instance, I have this dynamic that's wonderfully playing out right now. I can't lie. I feel really good about it. I've only known her. Her and I have only known each other for a month. It makes a month tomorrow, September 9th, because we met back in August 9th. But so far, the first month, it's actually been really nice. We've only hung out one-on-one on one date one time, but we saw each other twice ourselves, like quick little summary. I met her at a birthday party of one of my friends, and after we met, that was the first time. Then the second time we had a one-on-one date, like maybe like a week or two after, something like that. And then the third time, it was my birthday party night, and when everybody had left, she stayed until like 2 a.m. and we were drunk off our ass, and she had a joint, and we walked around my town for like an hour. I mean, like dead ass, like an hour. And in between those and that, and after that, we had some phone calls and whatnot. And genuinely, I've liked how the things have been playing out. But I say that now from a space of understanding that, maybe even a few days ago, I might have complained about like the pace. I might have been like, you know what, this is going kind of slow, or I wish she was doing more. But here's the thing, I understand that she's actually a busy woman. She's actually busy. And listen, maybe an insecure person, like a few days ago, I myself was a very insecure person. I'm thinking, well, shit, she's not really feeding into like showing up for me or like giving me attention. We haven't gone on a one-on-one date in a while. Like, I was kind of in that negative mindset, that negative stance. Like, man, I really want, but I wasn't hating on her. It was more so like, I just like really wanted to see her. And this is another thing why I bring up semen retention, right? Because one night I've been 70 to 80 days straight, like just not, retaining my seed and all that stuff. And one night, a few nights ago, when I was really in this headspace of like, oh my God, like I want to give love, like I have love to give, and I can't give it to her as much as I'd like to at this moment. I literally went to sleep, and I had a crazy wet dream. I'm not even kidding. I woke up and my seed was no longer retained. That's a crazy. I'm being very transparent. I'm being very open when it comes to the things I talk about on my YouTube channel, on these videos. But I'm telling you like the truth of things that have happened and how my mindset is evolving over time. Nowhere near perfection. Perfection again, not only just in my videos, but in real life. Perfection is never the goal. However, progression certainly is the goal. Progressing as much as I possibly can in a day, a little bit further than I was yesterday, way further than I was a few years ago. Like the progression is the realest thing that you can set for yourself, because perfection, it's just like maintaining perfection every day. It's not idealistic. It's not realistic. It's not. You can make progress. It's way better and easier on you for you to make progress more than maintaining perfection on a day-to-day basis. At least for me, At least for me. And if that's the way it is for me, maybe it could be that way for others. For sure, it can be that way for others. Maybe not for everybody. Maybe it's not for everybody, but nonetheless, listen. I broke down quite a lot in the past minute or so, but I really want to come out here to say that. For me, I mentioned this in other videos too. I've never had a long-term relationship. Now, when I say that, because I also clarified what I really mean by that, a relationship, I mean by like myself having a girlfriend, right? Like if I have a girlfriend, I've never had a girlfriend I've stayed with for longer than a year. Not because, listen, the thing is, I've had maybe 2 to 3 girlfriends, I want to say, in my lifetime. I'm 24 now, and up until this point, I've only had 2 to 3 girlfriends, but I've had various different experiences with various different people, and the entire point of what I'm always going for, right, is I would love a long-term committed relationship. I realize that now more than ever, that a long-term committed relationship is my goal. I want something that genuinely lasts, not just a few days, not just a few weeks, not just a few months, but something that genuinely can flourish into a loving, lasting relationship, right? But here's the thing, in these stages, for instance, like the dynamic that I have playing out right now, of course, the goal is what I just stated, right? Is that something I'm going to see happen tonight? Is that something I'm going to see happen next week? Is that something I'm going to see happen next month? I don't know the answer. However, I can definitely say that if it is going to happen, it's not going to happen like that. It's just simply not, right? So by me understanding that, I can sort of lay back on the stress. I can lay back on, okay, listen, I can note the good things that have genuinely happened. Genuinely, this woman that I'm having the dynamic play out with right now has genuinely been very consistent, and she's busy herself. She has a job that I'm pretty sure she's full-time. If she's not full-time, regardless, she's also got school to worry about. She's got life concerns, life things that I won't mention, but things that she stated to me, just concerns around life. And we're all human. We've all got those, like whether it be school, and I myself am not in school, but I've got my part-time job. I've got my family. I've got the things that I do on a day-to-day basis to keep myself, keep my temple, my physical temple, this body of mine. I do various things, So it's like, listen, as much as I can get in my head about like, oh man, I wish we could do more. I wish we could be further in this, day by day, progression is genuinely the goal. Perfection, me wishing to have things now, that's sort of like the perfection that I envision, right? It's not possible to have at this moment. In fact, if there is going to be perfection, you don't just create that. You don't just manifest that in overnight. You just simply don't. Things can happen. Things can change within seconds. However, perfection in the way that I envision it, or that you envision it, or anyone else envisions it, it's not something that just simply happens because you thought of it and then it just happened. That's not manifestation. Manifestation is genuinely things that you do over time that will create that perfection for you, right? So if a long-term relationship is something that I'm striving for, right? If a real lasting dynamic between myself and another woman, if that's what I'm going to manifest, right? It simply takes time. It takes time, right? It just has to take time, because everyone is, each of us, every human, like whether, the thing is, at the age of 24, I'd like to have known this a while ago. I'd like to have known this a while ago. You know, things unfold at the way that they unfold for whatever reason. You know, there's just something. There's a bigger thing that's unraveling all of this entire mess that we have no control over. We have control over just the things that we can control. You know, like me bringing more awareness to these things that I'm talking about now. That's what's keeping me grounded. The walks that I go out on, that's keeping me grounded. The talks I have with my closest friend or with my sister or with my parents, you know, especially now more than ever, my family has been extremely vital to me because genuinely, I've mentioned it in a video. I haven't uploaded that video yet, and this video will get uploaded weeks down the road, you know. But in these hard times that we're going through as a family, uniting is the most important thing that we can do, and it can show up as simple as like I said, today's Monday, so on Saturday night and Sunday night, I watched a movie with my family. Sunday, the entirety of Sunday, I spent with my family. We went out to a park, went for a 7-mile walk. 7-mile walk. That's literally like almost 2.5 hours of walking. We got like probably like around like 13 to 15,000 steps, and it was my dad and my mom and myself walking, and my sister went the same walk that we had went on, the same path that we went on. My sister ran that, you know. So these family times are important. They're grounding me, you know. So genuinely, I think that in order for me to give the best shot I could possibly have with this dynamic, and honestly, that's what it's always about, you know. If you're having a dynamic play out that you genuinely care, like if you're someone like myself, you know, you want to see yourself grow with someone else into a long-term commitment. Grounding yourself is important. Grounding yourself is important because each of us, it doesn't matter what it is. It can be a dynamic playing out, right? You're starting to get to know someone, or maybe it's you looking out for, I want to get this job, or whatever it may be. Any situation, any example that I can say or that you could possibly think of, if we're getting in our head about what that is, you know, for instance, I'm transparency, right? You know, the dynamic that I have playing out with this woman, in the past few days, in the past week, I haven't seen her in about 2 weeks. And we've had 2 different plans, both that had collapsed. But she was very open with me about, you know, the first time that it collapsed, something genuinely came up in her life that she had to. She told me herself, like, I have to tell you now, because if I don't tell you, it's gonna really, like, it's gonna stay in her head, you know. So she told me. Very open about it, right? The second time was last night, Sunday night. We were supposed to go out and watch a movie, but she had to cancel. She didn't specify why, but she didn't need to. Simply, you know, one of the things that her and I had a conversation about, the very first date that her and I had gone on, I told her, I was like, to be honest, I don't think anyone is really owed an explanation. And that may sound mean, that may sound rude, but I've had that thought or that belief for a while, you know, and I think I still stand to that. I still stand by that this day. Like, for instance, when I cut off these group of guys that I've been friends with since I was a kid from my childhood, you know, I didn't give an explanation because I didn't see why or what the point would be to giving those guys an explanation. Simply being, I just didn't see them. I don't want to say I didn't see them benefiting me, but genuinely, like, it wasn't. It's not like I was trying to profit or benefit from them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, genuinely, they were dickheads. They were jerks. Like, generally, I could never have a good time with them. And if there was a good time, it would be like, it'd be once in a blue moon kind of thing with them, you know? So I was like, I just can't be friends with y'all anymore. And I didn't ever even say that. I just simply left the group chat. And then I was just like, I'm just going to leave that alone, man. I'm going to leave that alone because I have another group of friends that are genuinely great. I love spending time with them. They're never jerks. And if they are, it's literally like, that's like a once in a blue moon thing, you know? And if it is happening, they're generally just rage baiting or like just having fun guy things, you know? But whatever, you know, like I said, the whole explanation thing not being owed, she didn't have to specify anything to me, but sometimes she has, you know. And yesterday, we had the movie plan that was canceled, but she immediately just pivoted to, I'm sorry I can't do tonight, but I want to do Wednesday, you know. And I thought that was a green flag, and it is a green flag, because if she wasn't willing to reschedule, if she said yes because she was just like, let me just be nice, let me say yes, right? She wouldn't have been like, oh, I can't make it tonight, and then mentioned Wednesday right away. She would have just been like, I can't make it tonight, sorry, and then that's it, you know. Then I would have been like, all right, well, okay, I guess let me just stop. Let me pull back from investing in this, because there's nothing here. Like, it's just me, and she's not willing to, or like she's instinctually just pulling herself back. But it's the opposite. She's literally feeding into this, investing herself in this. And she said, I told her, like, okay, I'll keep you to your word, right? But let's say hypothetically, if Wednesday comes around and then something comes up, I'm still not gonna hold that against her. Generally, there's been already a few times where the plans have fallen through, and each time generally something has come up, you know. And it's like, in my head, I could certainly think like, oh, like, I don't know. It could be something as ridiculous as like, oh, she's seeing some other dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be that. Those are the fears and those are the insecurities that will creep in. Generally, I'm just being transparent. But at the same time, it's like, listen, if a dynamic is real, if my dog is barking like crazy, you might be able to hear that in the background. But if the dynamic is real, right, there shouldn't be any, like, if the dynamic is real, it's going to show you. Someone is going to show you that you really matter to them. Even in the early stage, if they genuinely want to see you, they'll show you that they want to see you. It might not happen on the first night or the second night. Maybe they've genuinely got something going on, just as we all do, you know? But if she's making this pivot, right, to like, oh, we can see each other Wednesday, it's like, oh, lovely. You know, even if she didn't do that, I would still have to maintain a good headspace for myself, because it's like, listen, I put my best into this. I'm trying. And I know she is too. Whether she was putting that effort in or not, she's trying regardless, because, you know what? I don't know how I can put that into words, you know? Whether someone is giving you the effort or not, they're giving you their true self. You know, they're giving you your true self. And for you to combat what they're doing, just don't make that move. I've made that move before, and it's just not worth it. You're putting a battle up with someone who's already made up their mind. Or that's someone that's already going in the flow of what they feel their flow is, you know? So it's just like, don't put up a battle with that. And also, don't sabotage yourself. That's one thing that's been important for me these past few days. It's just like, you know, genuinely, these have all been green flags. Even if she's canceled because she's had to, you know? So let me not self-sabotage and really ruin the good shot I have of seeing this potentially flourish, you know? I don't know if this is going to flourish or not, you know? But the only way I can find out truly is by not self-sabotaging and by genuinely being able to see where this can potentially go, you know? Be able to, like, if she's showing up herself fully and I'm showing up myself fully and I'm not self-sabotaging, nor is she, then it's just like, okay, cool, you know, like, we're giving this the best shot we genuinely have of seeing if this is potentially a match made in heaven or something, you know what I'm saying? And that's the best that you could do, especially in early stages. I can't speak to late stages or to middle stages, or like if you're in a full-fledged, like, committed long-term relationship. I can't speak to those kinds of things, but early on, if you develop this kind of understanding, I'm sure that this can take you far. I'm sure that this can take you far, and far into a long-term relationship, maybe even a marriage. I don't quite know. I can't speak to that. I've never been married. But let's see how long am I into this video? Maybe I could gap a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm about like 18 minutes in. But yeah, I think in terms of not self-sabotaging, I think I might have covered that enough. Being understanding, being open, having patience, not just with yourself, but with other people too. Very important things. You want to, if you have a dynamic that you're really interested in seeing go, you know, give it as much time as it needs, you know. And if you're not, like, for instance, for me, if there's been plans that have been canceled, if it's been 2 weeks since I've last seen her, occupy that time with yourself to really work on yourself, really understand, you know, what works for you. How can you do things for yourself that when that person returns, you can show up fully and loving, you know? That's as best as you can do. And if nothing comes of it, you gave it the best you could. You gave it the best you could. Simply put, you gave it the best you could. And the universe at that point just took over and said, listen, you gave it the best you could, but this is not the match that you're supposed to have, you know? You can think about it like that, you know? Things that are outside of your control, if it's not happening, it's just simply not going to happen. But if it is happening, if you're giving it the best shot that you possibly can, and if something comes out of it, beautiful. If it doesn't, still beautiful regardless, you know? So yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I basically have reached the 20-minute mark. So that's basically, I'd love to continue talking. I can't lie. These videos have been very important to me. I low-key consider these videos like checkpoints for me, you know? Different mindsets of different eras. I talk about past things. I talked about mindsets I might have had a few months ago, a few weeks ago, even a few years ago, a few days ago even. Shit. But it's just like, literally, these are like hallmarks for me. These are checkpoints. These are like, listen, this is where I'm at right now. And the interesting thing is that there's always more to develop, you know? Because listen, I can say this now, right? I can make all these videos and I can still stumble over something. I almost said fumble. I'm giving this the best shot I can. I ain't fumbling shit, all right? But I'm just saying, generally, like I can, like this video, I'm saying this stuff now, right? And then the next day, tomorrow, or in a few days, I might be like, fuck, like, oh my God, like I just wish things were different. But you know, like that's human. That's human. That's how you know you care. That's how you know you care. But because of that, right? Because the next few days I might have a different headspace or whatever. The grounding is important, because you know, don't think that you're going to just, because I'm saying this now, I don't want to foolishly be like, okay, I'm saying these things, I got it, like I can't mess this up. Don't think that. Don't think that, because life will humble you. Life will humble you. Your mind will humble you. Things that just are outside of your control and yourself. You will fumble or stumble or some shit like that, and you'll just be like, why the fuck did I fumble or stumble? Like I literally was just a few days ago praising shit like this in this video, and then blah blah blah, you know? But I'm not gonna jinx myself. I will knock on the wood next to me, literally. Hold up. There you go. We're not jinxing shit. But I'm just saying, genuinely, okay? I know this video is going on a little bit longer, but it's all good. Like I said, I wanted to yap a little bit more. But generally, you wanna be aware. You wanna be like, humility is very important in this. I just want to say that, okay? That's why, like in another video, I was saying, I don't think of me as I'm on a pedestal or whatever. I'm genuinely not. Genuinely not. Very capable of fucking some shit up. Very capable. And that's all of us. That's all of us. Humility is very, very important in this journey. That's how you, like, if you can accept that and understand that, more often than not, hopefully you'll find yourself being able to maintain something more often than not, okay? Because you can't make perfection, again, as I said, progression is real. Perfectionism is not. It's just not. It's just not. Come to peace with that, and you'll at least have more peace with any of these topics that I've covered, okay? I think I can end it now. Now go enjoy your life, and I really, really do mean that. That's it.